What's up, YouTube? We're back on chess, and today I have something special. So that's right, if you see in the top left, it's going to be Stockfish versus Hikaru. So, at a recent tournament called Norway Chess 2025, Hikaru and Magnus were playing a match. And guess what? It went to Armageddon. It was actually a really interesting match. Gotham Chess just posted a video about it, which prompted me to make this video, which was taking one of those specific games and plugging it into a chess engine, because my oh my, do we have a lot to cover. So let's just kind of get into it. The first 21 moves are going to be Magnus versus Hikaru, and then from that point, the engine will take over. Because, spoiler alert, Magnus blew his advantage and ended up losing the game. That's right. You heard me right, folks. Magnus Carlsen blew an advantage. He was playing Hikaru, so it is what it is. Anyway, let's just go into it. We have a pretty standard Roy Lopez at the start here. Like I said, if you watch the Gotham Chess video, he goes into a little bit more depth. But at the master level, this is pretty on par with what you're going to be looking at. And so let's just go ahead and get to the spicy part, shall we? Let's just keep moving here. Okay, so right around here is where things get really, really interesting. As we can see, Magnus has his two ops over in the corner, just shooting down the side of the board, looking to pick up some pieces. And we have Hikaru that's playing rather passively. If we kind of look at his pieces here, rather passive piece coordination. Brings his queen out, brings the rooks to the center. Everything's looking better. And then this is the first move that was made by a chess engine. So in the original game, Magnus played captures, which ended up having his advantage and leading to him lose the game. So the correct move was this. And so we're just going to follow along from here with the engine. And guys, seriously, things get kind of crazy. So yeah, pay attention, I guess. You might learn something, God forbid. But yeah, so the computer decides to capture the knight. We recapture, opening up our rooks, and we're going to get a trade. So right off the rip, we're seeing, again, similar ideas to what I was saying before, but Stockfish has very open lines. That's what Stockfish loves. Stockfish loves putting long-range pieces on open lines. Okay, so that's what we're getting, and we saw. I'm just going to be referring to white as Hikaru and black as Stockfish for the sake of simplicity. But yeah, we're seeing Hikaru here immediately, and again, I just want to preface this. Hikaru, this is a different game than what Hikaru and Magnus played. We're following a variation which is based on Stockfish recommendations. For the sake of simplicity, white I will be referring to as Hikaru, and black I will be referring to as Stockfish. All right, let's just continue. So Hikaru immediately tries to trade off some pieces, and what I'm assuming the point of this is to just minimize the pressure of black's position here. So like I was just saying, there's so many open lines, and white just wanted to take away some of the chances and options for black, if that makes sense. So let's just keep going. This is really complicated stuff, though, guys. So again, no one can really understand it fully, but let's just keep moving here. We're seeing a little bit of piece shuffling, and here we go, a queen trade. Okay, this is what I knew things are going to get crazy, because right around now, yeah, there's about a 1.1 point advantage, and we're going for a queen trade right off the bat. So again, I was kind of blown away by this, because usually that's not how things work. Usually if you have a slight advantage and you trade queens, all of a sudden your advantage is gone. So yeah, man, things are gonna get crazy. Let's just keep moving for now. Again, just a little bit of shuffling back and forth. White trying to take space here, and yeah, and black, what a weird thing, just in the middle of the game with all of this open lines, just let me go ahead and tuck my king over here. I guess it makes sense, though, thinking about it, because with a bunch of open lines, kings are a little bit less safe. White taking the opposite approach, shooting the flank pawns out, trying to take space. So, and rerouting the knight back. All right, a little bit of shuffling. There's going to be a lot of shuffling in this game, so I'm going to move through a little bit quickly. And then we see a capture here as well. This, again, I was so surprised by so many things in this game. But, again, in a position like this, I would assume that the bishop is more valuable than the knight. Why? Because there's no center pawns. The position is open, right? That's when bishops shine. Usually it's when you see a very locked and closed position where the knight can be more valuable than the bishop, and like that's like the interesting thing. But no, just taking the knight again. I can't fully explain all this stuff. I just thought it was so interesting I had to share. Let's keep moving. Uh, and then this is where the advantage starts. So I was kind of trying to trace it to like one specific point, and I believe it is right here. So yeah, right now the position is completely equal. So if we just count the pawns really quick, for white we have 6 total pawns. For black we have 6 total pawns. We have a rook, a knight, and then opposite colored bishop. So actually it's even more drawish than if these were same colored bishops. Anyway, keep going. Right around here. So we push the pawn. White captures. We recapture. We move the rook up. White moves the rook up 1 square, and then here we go. We take our pawn, okay? And they're gonna attack our knight. We're gonna move it back, and a little bit of shuffling, and an interesting way to trade the pieces. Ask Stockfish, not me. And we are left in this position now. Again, a lot of weird trades and unique way of doing this. Just like go back here really quickly. We take the knight. They're like, we're gonna pick up the pawn first. We're like, no, we're picking up the pawn. Then they take our knight. Yeah, man. Let's just keep moving. Honestly, ludicrous stuff. But here we go. So we're left in this position where black has this nice little pawn ball over here, 3, with an outside pass pawn. These are all tied up, obviously. And then we have 2 pawn islands for white. And obviously, this one is going to be crucial in diminishing some of the value of this pawn ball. And white is going to try and hang on for dear life to this pawn here while black tries to take it away. Because this is really the last threat in the position for white. So, black has finally turned this advantage out of thin air into something tangible, which is an outside pass pawn. Okay, makes sense. This is where the shuffling begins, though, okay? So we're going to move through a little bit quickly, and I'll try and cover the stuff that I think is interesting. So basic ideas here, just some checks to maneuver our pieces. And this is something that's really interesting about Stockfish. It is very, very good at using checks and attacks to essentially tempo its opponent and get its pieces where they want them to be. And right around here, if you noticed, we're repeating because even Stockfish got confused, okay? It didn't know what to do. And then it decides, let's go here, let's throw in a check, and let's keep making progress on this position. And again, it was really interesting stuff. Just gives up its pawn. White just gives up its pawn. It's like, I don't need it. I'm going to lose it anyway. Let's put our rook in a more active square. I mean, truly, truly incredible stuff, guys. And we don't even take it. That was the other crazy thing. We don't even take it. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess because you would get pinned, right? Like, the rook would pin the bishop to the rook and, like, make us less active and more vulnerable. Crazy stuff. Seriously crazy stuff. And I guess the king could get in and cause some trouble. But let's keep moving. So, all right, here we are. We've simplified down a little bit. We still are up 1 pawn, except we now have 2 outside pass pawns for 1 isolated pass pawn. So, arguably better for black than where we were a couple moves ago. Let's see. Now we finally take the pawn. Okay. Immediately get booted out by white's king. And here we go. So white positioning itself perfectly to just poke holes at the black position. It always has to be asking questions to attempt to stay in the game here. But let's see how Stockfish closes this game out. I mean, it's just crazy. I think, yeah, this is where the shuffling really begins. So we're going to move through a little bit quickly here. And here we fork the pieces. Obviously, it's defended by the rook, though. Let's keep moving. Like, seriously insane. And then we finally push our pawn. Okay, the first pawn push. It's going to be a little bit until the next one. White wanting to trade off the rooks. We say absolutely not. We need that right now to ensure the victory. Obviously, if too much material comes off the board, white's king might be able to stop the pawns, and it would end in a draw. So, again, like minimal advantage, but certainly enough for Stockfish to get a win. So let's see. Okay, I thought this was really cool too as well. So we're using our bishop to block line of sight, or the rook's line of sight. So essentially nullifying the rook's effectiveness at this pawn and also this pawn as well in the future, right? really interesting stuff, and it's going to do this again. I just thought it was cool. It doesn't have to take black's rook. It can just stop it from seeing the effective squares. All right, let's keep moving. Again, another trade offered. We are not going to take it. And some more shuffling. Some more shuffling. Throw in a check. And here we are. So, yeah, again, like I said, Stockfish is very, very great at maneuvering its pieces with tempo, okay? So, obviously with checks, but also just with attacking pieces and such. It's very interesting. Just keep an eye out for that. I think it's something that I'm trying to take away from, like, this analysis into my own games. Um, yeah, you don't have to, like, play a check because it necessarily leads to something. Rather, you can play a check because it allows you to put your pieces on a more advantageous square, or maybe next turn you can put them on a more advantageous square, and you're forcing the opponent to react in a specific way rather than just however they feel like it, right? So obviously they're in check, they have to just move out of the way, and now we can get our rook here. So it's seeing white's pawn, it's seeing our pawn, it's seeing our pawn. I mean, like, incredible stuff. Let's keep moving. And we're going to reroute to attack the bishop. Again, like I said, they're going to do the same thing, reroute to attack us, but then we put them back in check. It's all just like a game of tempos, man. This stuff is insane. And then now we move our bishop to defend this pawn as well, freeing up our rook. And he moves out of the way, actually, for us, so we can go ahead and start pushing it. I think that's because this move was coming, and he didn't want to get tempoed again. I mean, and he just moves back. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, some repetitions. It's nuts. And there we go. We see the pawn push again. Finally, we come back to attack the bishop. Again, with the blocking technique, like I said before. Again, blocking the rook's line of sight from where we want to be moving these pawns, right? Yeah, crazy stuff. Well, let's just move to the next one. Okay, let's keep going. We're pushing the pawn slowly but surely. Obviously, rerouting to attack our backwards pawn. We're attacking their bishop. Just keeps, that's what I'm saying. The tempo's nuts. It's just like, I attack you, you attack me. It's crazy. All right, let's keep going though. A check, the more forcing, obviously. And again with the bishop block. Again. Like, seriously. Like, I think this is pretty instructive, honestly. I have to say. I was kind of getting blown away when I was going through this analysis. So, let's just keep going though. We're bringing our king with our pawns, of course. And if you can see now, the advantage has slowly snowballed to minus 4.7, okay? This was minus 1.5 just a little bit ago in a very similar position to this, okay? Again, I think this is really instructive. I know it's very complicated and the games can be weird, but I had to show this off because it's nuts. Okay, and then now we're starting to snowball out of control, as we can see. And the pawns are very close to promotion. Our pieces are very active. And here we go. White is trying for some counterplay. They're throwing in some checks. They're blocking our pawns with their bishop, right? We see that. And let's keep moving. Some more tempos happening here. And we're, again, rerouting to just a more effective square for the knight. Defending the pawns. Oh, and then this is where, okay, yeah, so sorry about the variations. This is because my computer first said it wanted to go here, and then it was like, no, never mind, actually, I want to go here. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. It just moves back right away, though. I mean, yeah. I mean, at this point, though, the reason for that is that white knows it's lost, and they know that the only thing that they can do is just make it happen as slowly as possible, which is what they're gonna do. And again, this was so cool as well. This is so cool as well. So white decides to set up a stalemate trap on themselves, right? Like I said, like they're already lost. Like, this is their last ditch effort. So if you just notice, the white king has absolutely no squares to move to, and it's not in check. So we're going to see some interesting tactics with that in a little bit, which I thought were a little bit amusing. So let's keep going. And now it's over. We see M19. That means the game is over. Stockfish has calculated a checkmate by force. So let's follow. Doesn't even bother picking up the bishop. It'd rather take the pawn because it knows it's going to turn into a queen. Just incredible stuff. And here we go. Ready? Also, might I add, this is where the stalemate trap actually starts, because if we take the rook, again, the stalemate, and just keeps on trying to offer that to us, and then eventually gives up because it realizes that we're not going to fall for it, and we move our bishop, allowing the king out and negating the stalemate trap. Really interesting, though. I mean, I'm sure that would have got some of you guys watching at home. Okay, so be aware of that, I guess, on both sides. If you can catch someone in a stalemate when they should have an easy win, and vice versa. Do not throw an easy win to a stalemate. It's one of the worst feelings in chess. All right, let's keep moving. But yeah, at this point, it is now mate is on the board. Let's see how Stockfish executes here. All right, and we make a queen now. And for some reason, the evaluation like jumped kind of weirdly. I'm not really sure why, because there's definitely mate on the board with a queen. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Again, I did the same thing. I'm sorry about that. So I was just trying to follow like the deepest like depth of evaluation. So it decided that it actually wanted to go here. So let's just see that again really quickly. So yeah. So okay, sorry. We take the rook with check. It decides not to take our bishop, and then we make a queen. It says mate in 4, and then yeah, and then it loses it again. I'm not sure exactly for the reason behind that. And then we see this nice little clean tidy up. So, guys, I mean, incredible stuff, honestly. Yeah, again, I'm a little bit speechless. I know my commentary was a little off. I'm not a grandmaster by any means, but I did run the analysis for this game, and it blew me away. So, yeah, I hope you guys can pick up some interesting ideas from this game. I want to go back and point a couple out. So let's just go back right to the start for where Stockfish took over. And again, it took over 100 moves from Stockfish taking over to secure a win, by the way. So crazy stuff, but it did manage to pull it off. Let's go ahead and head back to that moment. So right here, Stockfish takes over, and it's -1 advantage. Just insane stuff. And immediately, like the Hikaru Stockfish decides to start trading off pieces, because I think it can already feel this insane pressure. So let's just go back really quickly. Like let's look. All right. So obviously, like we're attacking the bishop. There's not really a good square for the bishop to go, because like what is it really doing back here? Just kind of clogging up the position, and it just has no good prospects. So that makes sense of why I wanted to get traded off. However, it allows us just more open lines, right? And the funny thing is, it immediately like disallows that. So it's like, okay, this line was already open. I opened 2 lines for the rook. Let's just make that back down to 1. You know, I find this stuff very interesting. I'm trying to explain it in like layman's terms. And then we're seeing a little bit of shuffling, but just the diagonals here, from the Magnus Stockfish, I guess we'll refer to them as. I mean, like really, really remarkable stuff, guys. Seriously. And I think this could also go to show you how just having like coverage of the board, if that makes sense, as if like your piece's sphere of influence being greater, doesn't even necessarily have to lead to a specific tactic, but that pressure can build to an advantage, like I said, because I feel like in this position, although it looks pretty for black, how exactly do you capitalize? And we even trade the queens off, like I was mentioning before. Just truly remarkable stuff. Shuffling our bishop a little bit back and forth. And right here, like this is how you know that white has no moves. It's just taking space with the pawns. Like there's just no moves for white. I mean, like look at this bishop. Okay? Our knight is completely dominating the bishop. Okay? And it can't go here and it can't go here. Sorry, that looks like a little bit whack. These lines. Okay, whatever. But you guys get my point. Our knight is completely dominating this bishop. All it can do is go back. And again, that doesn't do anything for it. The rook is stuck behind the bishop, like literally staring into a brick wall. I mean, craziness. Actual craziness. Look at this stack. Look at this stack right here. I mean, this rook is so useless right now. Wild. Just wild stuff. And then again, like I said before, also really interesting move by Stockfish. Choosing to trade off its bishop for the knight in this position. I'm assuming that's because this knight is white's best piece. Like I was saying before, its other pieces are kind of garbage. So yeah, just take its best one and let's keep pushing in the game. And again, like I said, this does actually end up leading to a tangible advantage for black, which we see here. Yeah, white has 4 pawns and black has 5. This is the moment. And just truly remarkable stuff. And we see these trades happening as well. So interesting. So interesting. Even the fact that we don't bother saving our knight here, I don't fully understand this, guys. I gotta be honest. Like, why not just go back? Oh, whoops. Never mind. Sorry, because the bishop is hanging. Sorry about that. So yeah, we have a free knight, but we might as well give ourselves the option of either and pick up a pawn on the way. That actually does make perfect sense. And then we actually do the same thing. It's like, all right, well, if you're not going to take our pieces, we're going to keep desperadoing them, and then we get to this position. So, okay, so that actually makes a little more sense to me. I got it confused, but still, really interesting way of doing the trades. I got to be honest. At my level, you wouldn't see that. It would be a lot more simple, but yeah, really, really cool stuff, you guys. And then again, the tempos, using tempos to get your pieces in the most advantageous position while forcing your opponent to react to your last move and not just do whatever they want to do. I mean, like so instructive. And then just the repetitions a little bit because Stockfish was getting confused, but we'll give him a break on that because I mean this was a very complicated position, and we just simplified down. And again, even just this, like White just knowing that this is a lost cause, you know what I mean? Like from here, just accepting that it's gonna lose that. Such interesting stuff, and just trying to like desperately get counterplay. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed a really crazy game. I would love like if you guys want to run the analysis yourself because I'm sure I was a little bit blabbermouthy. Go for it. But yeah, man. Craziness, absolute craziness. Shout out to Gotham for sharing this game. Like I said, if you want to watch the original game of how that turned out, go to his video. Because I made a different move right here with Stockfish. So yeah, I guess whatever. Enough talking from me. Enjoy the chess. I hope you did at least. And thanks for watching. Peace.